Rhonda and I were married at 19 years old. We knew each other from high school.
I didn't really know what I was doing with my life.
I was a teenage mom. I had my child when I was 16.
Being so young, we had many, many, many issues to deal with, coming from different backgrounds and obviously different personalities. And we had, a rough time at the beginning. We had a baby and there wasn't enough money and things were difficult.
He struggled with anger, and I felt like he was always mad at me for some reason.
To be able to communicate openly about things that were close to our hearts was difficult.
I was depressed. I was always anxious. I always felt like I needed to prove myself. I didn't know any different because I wasn't taught any different. I went through what was probably the most traumatic experience of my entire life. I was like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on. I need to figure out what's out there because obviously I thought I had it figured out and I don't. At that point, I just knew that there was something more.
I was depressed. I was lonely, shattered. I was looking for love and peace in all of the wrong areas. My life before Christ was very challenging in a lot of different ways. There was no hope in my life. I had a woman, an older woman who was so sweet. She came into my life and let me into like a small group. And I went with her for a couple of times and I just really liked it. And I was touched and moved, and I had 3 boys already at home. So I really wanted a girl. And I said, please, Doña Maria, help me. I want to have a girl. Can we please pray for my little girl? I want a little girl.
I think looking back, I really didn't know what I had in my hands there. I had 2 young boys that I could have molded, and if I'd have known Christ, their lives today would have been so much better.
I felt like I couldn't run away, that I need to stay and face the struggle and be a part of his coming to faith in Jesus. I really believed it was going to come even after long years of waiting.
I left my old ways of thinking of myself and things and found a new purpose in Christ. If I could say that there was one thing in my life that really changed everything in my life other than the Lord, was marrying this woman. I look back on my life and I see things that shouldn't have happened but did.
My coworker actually ended up inviting me to Joy Church. I remember walking into the sanctuary. I was a little late. They had already started worship. I had this tension in my body because I was so apprehensive of going to church for the first time. Within 10 seconds, that feeling disappeared. This warmness, almost like I was being held, just washed over me. I just started breaking down in tears. That was undeniably the presence of the Lord.
It was an awesome blessing that God gave me because I found out that I was having a girl. It was a prayer answered, and I was just so happy, so blessed. And
I thought finally having a daughter would be the answer to my heart's desires, but there was more.
The presence of God and that answered prayer, I just wanted more.
So now I do have the husband that I'd always hoped for. The transformation in his life through his faith, and in these last 30 years, it has been an amazing journey.
Because he rose, we rise.
So I decided to get baptized, and I was pregnant with my baby girl when I got baptized. I healed from my past, and I realized that relationship with God is the best thing ever.
Because he rose, we rise.
I left there that day going, okay, well, I guess I live for God now. I didn't know how much I needed him, but he still found me. Because he rose, we rise.